What's up people, welcome to our video series Cost of Building in Ghana. If you happen to be a first timer, I will encourage you to check the previous episodes so that you will appreciate where we've come from. That said, let's get straight into episode 12 where we will be looking at Burglar proof. This is based on requests from many of you by mail for the pricing of the Burglar proof for our 3-bedroom site. And for the bonus discussion, we will be looking at an update on the estimates in the Excel sheet that we use. So this is the ground floor, and as you can see, all of them have bracing with a flat bar. And the reason why we do this is on the ground floor, if you don't do it this way, the burglars would usually put a car jack in between the bars and then jack it open. But once you put the bracing on, it becomes a little bit difficult for them to jack it open. So for all the ground floors, this is what we will do. But for the top floors, we just did the bars because it's much more difficult for someone to hang on the wall and then jack the bars open. Another thing to note is that we bought the bars ourselves and gave them to the welder to work on them. The reason is, usually if you leave it to the welders to buy the better pipes, they may end up buying normal steel. But if you go buy them yourself, you can be sure you are buying galvanized steel. But if you go get the normal steel, it rusts in no time. And again, most of the ones that they sell, I'm not saying all of them, mainly they're going to use normal steel. And of course, once it's sprayed, it will be difficult to note, and they'll tell you that it's galvanized when actually it isn't. Another thing you should also pay attention to is that sometimes when you ask them to bring the estimate, they're going to bring you an estimate with the price of galvanized steel, but they would actually go by normal steel, and once they spray it, it will be quite difficult to notice. So we go with the welder to the shop, we pay for everything, and then we take it to where he works and then he does it. So this way we know that he's actually using the galvanized steel. If you are not a fan of Burglar proof, at least you can still use this same approach to the materials for your gates. And this is even particularly important for the gate because it's outside. You would often see people having to paint their gates almost every year, and it's because they got a gate made of normal steel when in fact they might have paid an amount worth a galvanized steel gate. So just take note of that, else you have your gate rusting in no time. So this is the master bedroom for the first floor, and for safety reasons, all the master bedrooms have an openable part of the burglar proof, so that in times of emergency you can just get your family and evacuate through this particular opening. So from the first floor, we will move to the second floor. That's the last floor. You will notice that with the second floor, we also had a similar thing like the one below, just the bars, because it will be quite difficult to jack that side open looking at the height of the building. Some people don't put burglar proof on the top floors, but I've seen a third floor on a flat being burgled, so I prefer to just do it rather than have any regrets. So the sitting room side, the kitchen, just the normal bars with no bracing in between. This is the guest room. And then one of the bedrooms. its washroom. That's the guest washroom. So you see that metal gate there was also part of the ones that we made. We've abandoned it for now. We intended to use it for something else. And for this one, this is the master bedroom. This was a special request from my wife. She said she preferred this kind of bracing. It wasn't needed at the top, but to satisfy her, we decided to go for this one. It's a little bit more expensive because of the bends of the brace. That's also openable, like I mentioned earlier. This is the washroom. So for the key for the padlock, you can just put it in a breakable glass case on the wall, just like you have for the fire alarm. And in emergency times, you just break and remove it and then have your escape. Okay, so now let's look at the total costs for the burglar proof, what many of you were asking. So I'm going to sort by color as always. I have already colored the cells. So the total cost for the burglar proof was 9,025 Ghana cedis. That should be about roughly $1,800 to $2,000 thereabout. What you should notice, I used 3/4 pipes for the burglar proof. Now, if you have in your own house and it is not an apartment, it is better you use 1 inch or you double the 3/4 pipes, because you wouldn't have many people in the house most of the time. But for the apartments, you are likely to have people in the house, so the 1/2 inch should work out fine without any problem. The whole idea of the burglar proof is not to prevent entry, but to make it more difficult and delay the entry process. And I must say that the cost here involves the uncompleted gates that I had to fix to prevent entry into the yard, and also one Pasico-like gate which I showed in the video. You will see the uncompleted gate at the beginning of the video. I believe it is also visible in some of my previous videos. So we bought all materials for the welder and paid him his workmanship, and these burglar proofs are just for the 3-bedroom side. We are yet to do that for the 2-bedroom side. Alright, so for our bonus discussion today, we have a VIP comment, and then I'll give you an update on the availability of the Excel sheet. So the VIP comment was from Curtis Blaze. He asked the question about the block molding, and I thought it was important to highlight that, because in the episode on the block molding, I forgot to include that you can actually get those who mold with the machine to come to your site and then mold all the blocks you need. That is actually the best option. I found a few on OLX, which is now gg.com. You have a few people who advertise and they will come with their machine and then sort it out for you. The only thing is that you need electricity at your site. And that was the reason why we didn't go for that option, because we had not connected electricity to the site at that point in time. We could have used our neighbor's electricity, but I didn't want to disturb them. Okay, so on to what many of you have been waiting for, that is the updated list of the Excel sheet. It is available up till May this year, so just drop me an email and then I will send it to you. This time you would have the workmanship, because since we started the channel, the personal identifiers that prevented us from sharing the workmanship with you have all been excluded. So that is it for this episode. Feel free to post all your questions in the comment section below. We certainly do answer all questions on Sundays. And remember, websites, phone numbers, email addresses are automatically filtered out, so we may not see your comments if you include any of these. Thank you for watching. So watch out for the next episode and see you in a bit. Enjoy, people.